Boom, boom. Pressed all the buttons, you guys. How is everybody doing? Welcome to episode 190 of SF Live. Thank you so much for being here. It's been a good little while. In the meantime, I've been growing my hair. It just keeps getting longer and longer. It's funny, if you look at the last time I went live to now, you will see a great difference. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Look, the entire purpose of SF Live is to help you guys grow your business. I have a few really strong beliefs in life. And one of the ones that I have about business, look, whether you're a photographer or you're doing something else, number one is that success begins with self-worth. If you want to keep it all alliterated, you can just say success starts with self-worth. And number two is that your earnings are in direct correlation to how well you serve your leads. Look, one of the things I actually am excited about, I think over the next few days, maybe I'll unpack this. The reason that I started Six Figure Photography, it was, again, to help you guys grow your business, but really to kind of turn that whole notion on its head. I've often thought back about if I were to go back and rename, this whole education thing that I'm doing to train photographers to grow their business, what would I call it? Maybe I wouldn't call it Six Figure Photography because there's a certain connotation that comes with it. But at the same time, maybe I would because it grips people, it gets them in, it gets them interested in growth, in increasing their income. And then I get to kind of turn it on its head a little bit because you guys, I love the way that Gary Vaynerchuk says it. He talks all the time about at the end of your life, look, at the end of this month, at the end of the week, at the end of the day, do you know what's far more important than how much money you made? How you made your money. You guys, I'm going to unpack maybe over the next few days a few core beliefs that I believe a six-figure photographer actually has, right? And I think it'll be a little eye-opening. And so anyhow, we'll get to that in a little bit. You guys, let's see who's here, who's in the comments, what is going on. Brian, thanks for saying hi, man. I love live content because of this right here. Brian, so good to see you here. Scott, what's going on? Scott, you got to be at Abundance this year, man. Scott, I want to see you at Abundance. Adam's here. Word. Mike is in the house. Jeffrey Murphy made the switch to Fuji. Jeff, you made the switch to Fuji. That's awesome, my man. Maybe I'll talk about that actually. As we talk about the whole six-figure photography thing, I think it might be important to talk about why we made the switch to Fuji. Amy Plum. Amy, you're coming, right? Angela, Michelle. Awesome. Kendra's here. Kendra, so good to see you. Victoria, hey girl. Michelle was looking for the videos yesterday. So good. Scott, message me, man. Message me. Leo, hi Leo. You guys, if this is your first time joining live, can you do me a favor and say hi? Like, it really means the world to me. It's nerve-wracking, by the way, to make live content. If any of you out there have done it, it's a terrifying thing. And so I really appreciate all the comments, all the thumbs up, all the hearts, all the love. It's terrifying, and yet it's also one of the greatest rushes. Michelle, where have you been? Brittany's interested in the Fuji switch. Brittany, here's the deal. Join me tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about one of my number one beliefs and what I believe one of the number one beliefs of a six-figure photographer is. And in that belief is actually one of the main reasons that we switched to Fuji. And so join me tomorrow as I talk about that. You guys, I've been out for a little bit. I've been gone. Look, I've been gone for a number of reasons. First off, it's no mistake. We are in full swing wedding season here. Style and Story Creative is just like taking off. We're shooting all the darn time. We're delivering photographs, editing pics, emailing, calling. We're doing it all. And so I've been doubling down on that because you guys please remember this. Style and Story Creative is what I do full time, right? It's what I do full time. I started the podcast, the Six Figure Photography Podcast, and these live videos and the email list. I decided to do this because it brings me so much value in life. It brings me value. It's kind of an interesting thing. I just love being able to give back. I believe that there's enough room at the end of the finish line for everyone, and it brings me so much joy when I get to see another photographer completely blow their clients away, over-deliver on every facet, serve them so damn well, but then as well serve their family so well. Actually be able to spend time with their family, which is what I'm going to talk a little bit about today. So anyhow, we've just been in full swing at Style and Story. And then to top it off, many of you guys know this, I've got twin boys at home. So I've got my beautiful little girl, B, who's about to turn 3. And then I got my twin boys, Alex and Colton at home. And so just been continually revisiting and rebalancing that. Look, I talked about in this episode balancing, life and business. Look, I talk all the time about how you're going to grow your business, how you're going to grow your business, how you get new leads in the door, how you're going to make more money, how you're going to take better pictures, how you're going to serve your people better. But you guys, let's not get this mistaken. I think it's so easy as we're talking about the hustle and the grind and the growth and pushing towards bigger and better and bigger and better. Like, you got to remember why you started this thing in the first place. Like, why the hell did you start this thing in the first place? My guess is it's because you loved art, you loved photography, you loved people, but it's also because you wanted to make something great, and not just for yourself. You wanted to make something great so in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, you could be at the end of that thing that is great with someone that you love. With your wife, with your boyfriend, with your husband, with your kids. Be at the end of this thing that you love, being able to provide so well for them, to be able to give to your family so well, right? But if you started this thing to give to your family, to provide for them, let's not get this mixed up, because they gotta be there in the end. You got to be there, and that takes work, that takes time, that takes energy. And so that's been something that I've been really trying to focus on and revisit. And so a huge thank you to Leslie. Sometimes you have to get like the crap kicked out of you a little bit. And you need tough people in your life. And so I'm thankful for Leslie for that. But you guys, look, as we're talking about balancing life and family and business, I don't really have any great tip in regards to the balancing act, but can I please invite you guys to do something? Growth does not happen in a vacuum. My wife and I have been married for 7 years, okay? Growth does not happen in a vacuum. We came down to Columbus, Ohio in 2013. We've been here for about 4 years. And we've been in a bit of a vacuum. We left an amazing community. We've been in a bit of a vacuum, you guys. If you've been married for any length of time, if you've been in, let's actually correlate this to photography business. Like, do you know what's amazing about going to these conferences, to go to WPPI or a workshop where you get to be surrounded with other amazing photographers, is you get to be with people who are in the trenches, and you get to walk away getting better from that experience, from communicating with other people, from having them really dig in, analyze things, turn over rocks, and point to things that need work. And the exact same thing is true in your relationships at home. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because if you forget it, it's gonna kick you in the ass. It's gonna kick you in the ass, because either A, you're gonna build something freaking amazing and you're gonna get to the end of it and no one's gonna be there to celebrate with you, or B is you're going to be sitting at work, you're going to be down in your living room on your laptop, on your phone, you're going to be at a wedding one day and your phone's going to blow up, and it's going to be a really sad text. It's going to be something that's really going to kind of like irk you. It's going to be trouble at the home front, and it's just going to make all of this so much harder. It's going to make it so much more difficult on you. I know what it's like, and you know what it's like when you're trying to do something amazing, when you're working on a great wedding, you're sitting there editing and doing all your first looks, and you get that text from someone that's like, things are not in a great place, and it just ruins it. I can't operate in those spaces, you guys. When I get that text from Leslie because maybe I stayed out too late working on something, I went off to WPPI and stayed 3 days too late. I don't know what it is, right? But I just know what it does. You can't, it's not the same thing. You can't keep functioning. You can't keep growing your business when there is unrest at home. And so again, it doesn't happen in a vacuum. And so I don't know what this looks like for you guys, but I just want to encourage you, like, as much as you're trying to find mentors and you're trying to find people in your business that can help pour into your business, you're trying to find workshops to go to, you're trying to find people that you can meet up with and have these conversations in your business. Like, let's get it straight and let's set the priorities, because that same thing should be in place for your marriage and for your relationships. Maybe it's not an actual marriage. Maybe it's just your girlfriend or boyfriend. I don't know. Maybe it's got a son or daughter at home, but it's so important, right? It's so important to get this in check. Maybe this is a good one, actually, for us entrepreneurs out there, for the businessmen and women of the world. We get so focused on our little baby that's our business and it's great, by the way. I think focus and commitment and drive and passion is amazing, but sometimes it becomes really challenging to then come home and then relate back to the people that we love, relate back to our spouses and our children when they're not in the trenches with you, right? when they're not in the trenches with you. And so actually a book that has helped me to kind of reshape, to understand, to reevaluate how I actually can express love and receive love, understanding the ways that I tick. It's a book, cheesy ass title, I'll give it that, but it's called The 5 Love Languages. 5 Love Languages. Go and get it. Go and get it. Once again, you guys, like, if this is like, what's the point? What's the point of having an amazing business if you have no one to celebrate with at the end? Go and get this book and go and start reading it. And look, even if you're not a reader, go get the audio version. But begin to try to figure out how you're going to be able to communicate this stuff when you get back home. Because after so long, it just takes work, you guys. It takes work, and it doesn't happen in a vacuum. Find people that are in the same situation of life as you or ahead of you, and start asking yourselves these really tough questions, and start being open, because you know what? We're all people, and we're all messed up, and their shit stinks too, and so does yours. And so you don't got to pretend you got it all together. Find people, find a community of people. You know, like, I think that's something that the church has really going well for it. Say what you want about the church, but find people that you can surround yourself with, and keep growing. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. I can't say it enough. All right, you guys. Look, we're talking about growing your business. And the reality is, if you want to grow your business, you got to have your personal life in check too. And it has to be growth there. If you're not growing, you're stagnant. And so that's what I got for you guys. I hope look, maybe there's someone out there who's single and they're like, yada, yada. Come back and revisit this in 5 years, right? Come back and revisit it. You guys, thank you so much for your time, for your commitment, for being here. And I just appreciate you guys. I want you to know I appreciate you. And so, look, join me tomorrow as I kind of start unpacking a little bit more of what I actually believe it looks like to be a six-figure photographer, uncover the rock behind that whole kind of thought process. And so, that's it, you guys. I'm going to hang up. I'm going to check out all these dope comments that I'm sure hopefully have come in. But that's it. You guys, we will see you. Actually, look, we'll see you tomorrow. But before you go, hop on this thing. I've got a newsletter that I send out some really great content to. If you're a photographer, this is really for the photographers out there. If you're a photographer and you're trying to grow your business, you're trying to gain more clients, you're trying to figure out what it looks like to actually provide value to people where they want you to photograph their important moments, hop on this thing. It's pretty darn good, right? It's pretty good. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.